Bumped us up to 90. Come on! So our first step today, we gotta pick Baylor's focus, his childhood education focus. So for the next 3 years, he's gonna be in this education. Obviously, the choice we're gonna make, we're gonna put him in the martial education. The kid has potential to be something special. With a skilled fighter already by the age of 12, he has willful, conscientious, and affectionate. Conscientious could lead to diligent, which is fantastic. Willful could lead to ambitious, which is fantastic. Affectionate could lead to kind, content, trusting, or family person. All of those are model for the next great Targaryen king. And also he's a genius, so that helps quite a bit. So we're going to select this as his childhood focus, and then we are actually going to change who his guardian is, because I, being the control freak that I am and not having that ability with my previous children, want complete control over how these traits turn out. We'll get a pop-up event for him, and we'll be able to have some control over how he does things. So we will advance that. I am currently his guardian. That's good. Yep, we're just after his birthday, so no chance of anything happening there. I'm just going to check these things really quick because I haven't in a while. It looks like everything is turning out well. Good. All of those colonies went away because we selected to give Illyria their independence. So that was what was causing all of those colony actions, or giving us the possibility of having all those colony actions. Okay, so we are once again, we're not in crisis mode, but what we've got going on is we've got about 10,000 men right here, and the plan is we are going to try to deal with this army right here. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to, we just defeated them in battle, and we're actually going to chase them around this island in the boat with our men. Reason being because none of these provinces have enough supply limits in order to make us, that's the only one right up here, have enough of a supply limit in order for us to be safe from attrition. And so the goal is going to be wherever we think they're going to end up, we're going to go there first. So more than likely, that one has 13.5, so that's probably where they're going to end up. They're going north. We just defeated them on this province, so they're going to go north. I think if we're careful, we can get up there and be in good shape. Yeah, we should be able to. I mean, I imagine it's going to be made a little bit more difficult by the fact that we're stepping off the boat with such, or with damage to our morale, but we at least have a shot at doing this. The other thing that happened in the last episode that I really didn't comment on because I was just so surprised that it happened and I didn't know how to deal with it, is Rhaegal is now maimed. And so that seriously limits his martial ability, and it seriously sucks. I don't know what it's going to lead to down the line, if he's going to be crippled, or if he's going to be have an amputated limb. I'm not sure what maimed looks like for a dragon down the line. I know he can heal, and eventually, but it does leave a permanent impact on him, and so there's really no chance there of him continuing to grow. The other thing that we need to take a look at is this over here, this province. The Five Forts. That's where the White Walkers are. That's where their province is, and that's where we need to go and siege down, I think, in order to effectively make this in order to really win the war, in order to be an effective commander, but not only that, but just to win the war, because I don't know how we're going to continue on that path and not end up with just a war that lasts for years and years and years, and we don't want that. We can't afford to stay in Essos forever, especially Aegon's not getting any younger. I'm surprised he's still alive right now. And honestly, if I could check his character ID, I would look at his health just to see how close he is to actually dying. Gonorrhea doesn't help. I mean, that's just the reality. He has -1 health from gonorrhea, and I think that puts his health at probably like a 3. So I mean, we're like one event away from Aegon just like kicking the bucket. It's just a matter of time at this point. So, but again, I'm just guessing. He's lived this long. I don't know. You know, he still has vitality. Basically, I mean, he's still a beast. I just don't know if he's gonna continue on that path. So, that's where we're at right now. Currently, there's no one in command of this army. I was waiting and looking and observing to see what would happen in this area, but I really think it's in our best interest to put Aegon here, and probably Gilbert there, and start marching in this direction. As long as we can keep over 5,000 men from attrition, we'll have enough to start sieging down that province. That's going to be a tall order, but I think it's worth a shot. Okay, so we get to choose the level of education, and obviously the most appropriate choice, given all the gold that we have, is the top. Exceptional education for the heir that we have groomed when it seemed like there was no hope for any of our children. And actually, he's not my child, but he might as well be at this point. Well, that didn't take very long. Rhaegal has long been unable to fly, the severe injury he suffered keeping him grounded. Today, though, he finally took the skies once again, and seems well on the way to recovery. So there were no lasting effects. Oh no, he's just wounded right now, but still, like, there is no lasting injury there. That's awesome. Okay, so we're about to land at the 5 forts. They raised up a small army. Okay, cool. So what we have to do is, now that Rhaegal is okay and not maimed and can actually fly, we're gonna do this. We're gonna use it in the siege. Alright, that bumps us up to 85%. We still have 7,000 men, but we are losing... Yeah, we'll lose 25% per month. That's insane. The good news, yeah, look at how... Man, that's so crazy. But the good news is that we can still deploy the dragon in the siege, even if we have less men than what is required in order to defeat the retinues here, or the garrison here. So they raised up part of their garrison in order to attack us, and our numbers are just dwindling. Oh, great. So is my wife cheating on me? Doesn't seem like it. But who's to say? I don't know. I guess we'll know if he turns out to be High Valyrian, right? No, because she's High Valyrian, but... So I guess there's a chance. Again, this is where character info in the console would come in handy. I could see exactly who got her pregnant. But that's cheating, and that's not right, obviously. So we probably have like 12 days before we... Yeah, cool. Amazing. Now we need to deploy the dragon in the siege again. We bumped us up to 90... Come on! A 4% chance. Sorry, I needed a second there. That's so disappointing. That is just the worst. That is awful. And so now I need to pay somebody to figure out if this baby's mine or not. And also, we don't have a chance of sieging down this province anymore. So I can leave the army there and just let them dwindle down. And focus once again on this side. I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do. Okay, so we'll take this army, and I'm going to take the middle. And we'll put Gilbert on the edge. We'll march right here. They're marching down to attack this army. And they'll get there on the 28th of July. How long is it going to take us to... I don't know how long it's going to take us to walk. I wonder if I can trick them. I wonder if I can make it so that they go that direction. I wonder if they'll stop going that direction if I'm walking that way. Yep. Okay, that's fine. We'll deal with it. But attrition's already hitting that army. That's so crazy. The maid I hired to gain my wife Daenerys' confidence has not found anything at all suspicious about her pregnancy. I'll consider that a relief. Alright, so I can't deploy the dragon in battle because Rhaegal's maimed again. And I was so excited about him not being... I'm sorry, I keep getting back on that. But even still, we have the dragon maneuvers, which is beneficial, which means our middle is not going to break. And because our middle's not going to break, we should be able to take out their flanks and then crush their middle. Yeah. So even though we can't deploy the dragon, we should have a pretty easy time. Amazing. So look, we won the war. Oh, okay, so we won the war. We won the war. But it wasn't the war for the Dawn, so winter persists. And now I have chest pains. Okay, this is also not a good sign, because my new Grand Maester Ballman, who's a capable maester, spent many hours studying the stars before informing you that in order for your strength to return, you had to fast for the better half of a fortnight. I'm not sure it did anything. See, that drops our health by 2. So, Aegon, definitely on death watch. So I was just checking all this stuff and just verifying and seeing what was going on, and our designated regent is Lord Commander Aeron, which I'm okay with, and we need to start like adding in all of these characters again, mostly because it boosts their opinion of me without really much cost involved. Paramount Knight, Harold Selmy is fine. My cupbearer can be Selwyn Massey's fine. King's Justice. That can be let's go with Hugh. Sir Hugh. And all of that is fine. All of those options are good. The only reason I'm getting all that in order is because we're going to have a regency. I don't think there's any way Aegon lives another 3 years. Unless it's by just, like, some miracle. But that rarely ever happens in this game. So, yeah. I'm going to advance. And we'll see what happens. But I really don't think it's going to be very long before it happens. Yep. This is, all of these signs are pointing to a death coming soon. So now I have fatigue, in addition to chest pains. And, yeah, I need to put my stuff in order for my final days. I think Daenerys is pregnant with somebody else's child, but we'll never know. Hopefully it's a girl, so it doesn't cast the realm into inheritance dispute. But then Prince Baelor is... I haven't had any events that have triggered his growth, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and continue on. Ballman states that his extensive medical experience leads him to certain conclusion that you are developing the bloody flux. He insists that you follow his instructions. Okay. Yeah, and I had minor symptom treatment. So just whenever I need a maester to do his dang job, it didn't work out. I wonder what the White Walkers are doing. Oh yeah, they're invading Karth, Asabad, Jinqui, and Vahar. And nobody has declared a war for the Dawn. I don't think anybody can. Like, I know I can't. I won't have valid Cassius Bailey because they don't have Winter's not in Westeros at all. So I can't declare a war for the Dawn. So, you know, maybe it just wasn't meant to be with Aegon defeating the White Walkers. I don't know. I'm getting too introspective. So lots of peasants have been moving to the county of King's Landing. Suggests building new roads in order to make it easier for the peasants to reach the central holding. He insists that doing so, the county would become more prosperous. Yeah, absolutely, let's do that. I haven't really had anything else to think about other than this war for enough. You can no longer ignore the irritation in your throat, and you begin to violently cough. Yeah. This is the end, guys. I know I'm kind of slow walking us there, but it's just a sad day. It's just a sad day. And now they're trying to leach the poison out of me. It's not gonna work. And I was hoping for an event, but it doesn't seem like I'm gonna get it. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna start sailing these troops home. I'm gonna go into the military tab, and all of the hired armies we're gonna dismiss. All of the fleet we're gonna dismiss. We're gonna get home as best we can with the men that we have right there. We're gonna disband all of our units. And we're going to hope that that ends up being okay. Since I'm not paying for armies really anymore, I think I am. No, I don't have any monthly costs other than right there from having my own fleet levies raised. Which actually I can disband these and see if that affects that. That's fine. Yeah, that didn't. So that's the only monthly cost that I have. I'm afraid that when I die, all of the money that we have is going to go away. So I'm going to start sending gifts to Baelor. And I'm only going to do it just enough to ensure that there's a little bit left whenever the changeover happens. But I'm going to start giving him all of the gold just so that doesn't go anywhere when I die. Okay, so I gifted him almost 500 gold, and that'll just ensure that he gets the bulk of the wealth of the kingdom when we kick the bucket. And now it's time to use the wealth of the crown for some good. We were able to do very well with our gold as Aegon, and so what we need to do is we need to just send gifts to our Lord Paramounts in order to improve our opinion or improve their opinion of us one final time, so that when we die, it improves their opinion of Baelor. Man, these guys are gold hungry. And I know this is not exactly the greatest use of gold, and I'm probably pissing some of you off right now, but what I can say is that the opinion of your vassals is more important than anything else in this game, because it controls, especially as King of the Iron Throne, it controls how much or how many men you can raise in the event of war. It controls how well your Lord Paramounts control their territories. It prevents them from trying to kill you and from raising up in revolt, which whenever a Lord Paramount declares independence and it casts the realm into mega war, you pretty much have to rely on your vassals in order to win the war. You don't have much of a chance. As a dragon rider, it kind of changes a little bit, but that's just the case. And I did not give any gold to my man over here in the Iron Isles. There we go. And so that dwindles us. I mean, I almost spent 700 gold on making the Lord Paramounts happy, but that's something that you have to do. You absolutely have to keep their opinion of you as high as possible, so that going forward you don't run into any issues. And there is carryover. Baelor will have, especially during his regency, an opinion modifier for each one of the Lord Paramounts based on how well they liked Aegon, and so it's important to keep those guys as happy as we can in our final days. And we are actually at home in King's Landing, surrounded by our family, and we're going to focus this on here. We're going to pick an ambition, and really all that is to build a war chest, because that's the only option that we have. And I'm not going to exhort our subjects. That's not what we'll do. We have all of our armies heading home, and we're just going to advance time and ride out these final days while enjoying the life of King Aegon, the 6th of the Iron Throne. And there it is. You are thrown between waves of chills and sweats. Food has lost its appeal, and no amount of sleep seems to remedy your fatigue. You have contracted the bloody flux. So, 41% chance of a normal illness, 12% chance of a mild illness, 20% chance of a severe illness, and 25% chance we get bedridden. Yup. So at least we're losing all of these, but it still adds up to be pretty bad for us. So, Court Physician Ballman has come to see you and offer treatment for your illness. He explains that there are several types of treatment he can offer. So we're going to do the experimental treatment. We've never been afraid before. We're not going to start now. Oh, cool. I feel amazing. But I think that's just a, the game trying to be nice. Now, I doubt you're actually declaring that, yeah, it's just an others invasion. But we'll join, just so we can keep an eye on it. But really, I'm focusing right now, as much as I possibly can, on hoping that these events pop up. Yeah. I'm hoping the events pop up for him. Because he's 13 now. Oh, look, we had a daughter. We had a daughter. Visenya. I like it. Been waiting on these events to pop up right here and see what can happen with the childhood traits of our heir, Baelor. Look, our men are home. We can disband those ships, which should bring our balance down. Yeah, cool. So that's all of our... Yeah, so we're actually gaining money now, which is good. We still have those 1,500 men raised up over there, which I'm not going to worry about right now. I mean, if they end up... Actually, those are all from my vassals, so we're just going to dismiss them and deal with it. We can raise up quite a bit once they reinforce their levies. It's going to change, no lie. It's going to change so much because of the succession line going. So we'll just have to see how it ends up in just a little bit. So we shall continue. Okay, so apparently we survived the Bloody Flux. I don't understand this, guys. I legitimately, I don't understand this. I don't know that there's any way that we should have survived that. There's no way. We're back to normal. Except now we're 74. And the walkers are still overseas. But before actually raising up armies and going back east, we're going to let one Rhaegal heal, because he's still maimed from the second time of getting maimed. And hopefully that doesn't lead to him, like, being permanently injured, like I thought with the last time. And also, I would like to get as close as we can to Baelor not having to have a regency when we die. And so I'd like to stay in King's Landing and grow him and shape him and model exactly what it means to be a good king to him, and change these stats into his adult stats. That will be great. And see how he turns out before we actually end up, you know, dying. Well, it happened, guys. It happened. I didn't think it would, but it did. And so now we need to honor King Aegon with a funeral. It makes the most sense. We need to honor him with a funeral. Yeah. All the lords and ladies will be invited. We have to. King Aegon VI has taken his last breath at the age of 74. He died of gonorrhea. Aegon... I'm sorry, I was really trying to be serious, but that's just so funny. Aegon lived a life in fear and paranoia. May he find relief with the gods. King Baelor II, merely 13 years old, the realm is left in the capable hands of the Regent and Council. Long live King Baelor II. So, The true-born daughters of King Aegon have yep. They actually have a good opinion of me. No, they don't. But, yeah. It is what it is. She's actually the betrothed to the king, so she's the heir to the Iron Throne, but she's also going to produce the heir to the Iron Throne. Rhaenys is. So, King Aegon, the sixth of his name, Rider of Rhaegal, Master of Winter, King of the Andals and the First Men, King of the Iron Throne, is now dead. And his son, King Baelor II, now sits on the Iron Throne at the age of 13. Will he be a good king? Or will he be a bad king? Let's find out.